Okay. As we start to make this transition, okay, and we become uh, more privy to information, and we start to realize ourselves, you know, and this, the universe is helping us, all right, to move forward. And so I wanted to reference this book here, okay, and I'm going to be referenced this quite a bit. Um, this book here, Egyptian Divinities, all right, by Mustafa Gadala, all right, copyright purposes and all that. Okay, I'm going to read something here, and okay, I'll just go. All right, this is the chapter called The Image of God. Okay, and it said, when we ask who is God, we are really asking what is God. Okay, one can only define God through the multitude of his attributes, qualities, powers, actions. To know God is to know the numerous qualities of God. The more we learn of these qualities, the closer we are getting to our divine origin. Now, far from being, and it says that far from being a primitive polytheistic form, this is the highest expression of monotheistic mysticism. And it goes into the image of God. The human being is made in the image of God. It says that in the Bible. Am I right? A miniature universe. God is the universe itself. And that to understand the universe is to understand oneself, and vice versa. Now there are those in power who have studied these things and they know this, but yet they give us these literal versions and keep people in the dark, okay, like sheep, okay, keeping us from knowing our true selves. What you're seeing now and playing out is people waking up to that. Everybody's waking up to who they really are and our true power, okay. And then it says here, man was made in the image of God. Now, this is ancient Egypt. Now, a lot of people would try to down them and say, oh, they were polytheistic and they were devil worshippers and all this stuff. Let's not forget that the very Hebrews who this Bible is based off of lived amongst the Egyptians for a long, long time before the younger pharaohs started coming up and forgot how they lived, coexisted, and started oppressing them, and then they left. And they left with all the knowledge of ancient Egypt and all those things. Okay? And so... And it said, man was made in the image of God, and such man represented the image of all creation. Think about how we're made up, okay? And this is where science comes in, okay? Just same thing, just different ways of explaining it, okay? Science explains the physical, spirit explains the metaphysical, okay? And so, I mean, look at the elemental chart, okay? We're made up of just about all those things, if not all those things inside of us, okay? We are creation itself. Everything that around you is creation. We exist of all those things on the chemical chart, the oxygen, the O2, which is why I gave myself the name of chemistry. 11. We are chemistry. So that's why I gave myself the name chemistry, if anybody was wondering that. And it say the concept of Egypt monotheism can also be applied to man, the image of God. Okay? When we mention a person, it means nothing to us. Once we describe his attributes and qualities, which is all these things that were described in the Bible, we then begin to know him. A person who is an engineer, a father, a husband, does not have polypersonalities, but rather a monopersonality with multiple functions and attributes. Okay, and this is how the Egyptians, ancient Egyptians, explained it. This is why they made these different deities to represent the different acts of nature, because they understood that God was not some big giant man walking in the clouds. Okay, people have been blinded for so long, and now it's time for us to wake up and realize who God is and who we really are. When Jesus said, I and the Father are one, he wasn't just talking about himself, he was talking about all of us. That's why he said the kingdom of heaven exists is in us, okay? With a little faith in ourselves, we can be so much more powerful than we really are. Okay, we can affect a lot of change of the world. We are the change and the effect and the cause all rolled up in one. Okay? But just like God works in mysterious ways, as they say in here, it's not that mysterious once you understand not who God is, but what God is. It's all of us, okay? And I'll go into that when I go in, when I hit on the first of those, as they say, gods. Okay? I'm in. Okay? This video may be a little long, so bear with me. We got Amen, Aman, the occult force, Amun. Probably heard it in the mummy movies. It said, Amen represents the hidden or occult force underlying creation. Amen represents the spirit that animates the universe and all its components and creatures. Even though Amen is indefinable himself, Amen is the reason why the universe can be defined. Okay? Amen is only represented when it animates other aspects or forms of the universe. In human terms, Amen represents the spirit that animates the human body while living, the breath of life. Just like in the book of Genesis, the breath of life in our nostrils. This is Amen. What do we say at the end of our prayers? We say Amen because our words carry, okay? They resonate. They manifest. Our thoughts manifest. We are all manifestations of a thought of a grand cosmic mind that we know as God, okay? This is why I said pray in secret in the Bible, okay? Because you're going within of yourself, We are the microcosm, and the universe is the macrocosm, okay? So we are all one, all right? And, you have the pineal gland secretes melatonin. Melatonin is a black inky substance. Well, we're all one big cosmic mind. When you look at going out of space, okay, what is it? What is it? A black inky substance everywhere. So it's constantly thinking things, just like our mind is constantly forming thoughts and creating things of the mind, and then we manifest it, whether it be a work of art or a written story or, world's biggest hamburger, whatever it is, okay, that's what it is. Okay, and so to understand the universe is to understand oneself. So we are really here, representations, all creation, representations of God, here to understand himself or itself. You get what I'm saying? Okay, we are made of everything in the universe. Look, electrons, neutrons, protons, oxygen, water, all those different things on the chemical chart and all that. All those chemicals mixed together to form us. Okay, that's why I say that my name is chemistry. Okay, because we are chemistry. Animated, okay? And so people are looking for proof of God. The proof has been here since all creation has been here, okay, existing, all right? Not so mysterious when you look at it that way. And this is how the ancient Egyptians looked at it. All these different deities and things, they weren't things to be worshipped literally. That's only when corrupt priest classes came through and took over and had everybody worshiping the image instead of learning the lesson from it, you know what I mean? Worshiping the image itself, all right? Oh, wait a minute. Didn't the Bible say, do not make any graven images? Do not depict me as mortal and all those different things? So, tear all those statues down then. Take it down. All right? Now, we got Proverbs chapter 8, verse 22 through 30. Okay? The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way before his works of old, and I was set up from everlasting from the beginning or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water, before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. Okay, I'll go down. Okay, when he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth. When he established the clouds above. When he strengthened the foundations of the deep. When he gave to the sea the decree that water should not pass his commandment. When he appointed the foundations of the earth. Then I was by him, as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. This is talking about wisdom. Wisdom has always been described as a woman through the Bible. Solomon described wisdom as a woman. Beautiful. Okay? Now, we're going to go into ancient Kemet, another goddess, or Neteru, Mayat. Said Mayat represents the principle of cosmic order. Cosmic order. The concept by which not only mankind, or men, women, mankind, whatever, but also the Neteru, nature, gods, themselves are governed. Ma'at signifies harmony, balance, and equilibrium between all the cosmic forces of nature. She represents order on its most abstract level, that which causes everything to exist. Without Ma'at, chaos reigns unchecked, and the ability to create order is forever lost. So, in culinary terms, it's called mise en place. Everything's in its place. This is Ma'at right here, okay? Not an actual physical goddess, physical form as in we create order and everything in our lives, but it was a concept, a force of nature. The way gravity works, so where we're not too heavy and we're not all floating away, okay? The way the seasons worked, okay? The way all the planets stay in their orbits instead of crashing into each other. They named this concept Ma'at in order to understand these things. So you see a lot of the things in the Bible, people keep telling you, some things are literal, some things are symbolic, okay? Don't be tricked into taking every single thing literal. That's what happened, and it left us in the dark, all right? And so here we are. So now we have Amun, Amen, which is what we say at the end of our prayers also, to manifest things, that breath of life, and we breathing those words out. That's why in Proverbs it says, life and death are in the power of the tongue, and, those who love it thereof, or something like that. I already did that. And then we have Ma'at, which is the order that allowed everything to stay where it is and continue to exist the way it is. Same thing here in Proverbs in chapter 8, verse 22 through 30. Wisdom saying how I was there before everything else. Okay? So wisdom and the concept of God and all those different things. Okay? So anybody looking for a giant man walking up in the air, you're going to be waiting a long time. Okay? We are talking about acts of nature here. And we are also a creation, a construct of nature, a cosmic mind here. Alright? And so people have been duped into looking out without themselves, telling themselves that they're nothing and they're this, and they fall short of all these different things. Yes, we all fall short of those things, but that does not mean that you can't affect change here, because you have to affect change here. When spirits need a vessel to move in, they attach to human beings because they need a physical vessel. Well, we are already, hey, there's no vacancy here. We are already the living soul of that very same creator. I and the Father are one. We are all one. Okay? That is one of the most true statements I've heard. And so it's time to realize who we are. The time that what's happening right now is that people are coming to that realization. Okay? So these simple but yet complex truths, because it's so hard to break that thought process because we're always looking everywhere else. Okay? To try to find a way. No. Believe in yourself. All right? Faith of a mustard seed moves mountains. That's also in the Bible. All right? And so the ancient Egyptians had it all together. Why did every civilization go to learn from Egypt? The Greeks, and the Romans, and they had different gods and goddesses. But see, they twisted it and well, not they, but some of the more less reputable ones, they saw the control that they can have on people, okay? And so they tricked people into worshiping the image, okay? Instead of seeing it, looking at. So if I see this statue here, if I see this image of Mayat, I'm not going to bow down to that image and say, oh, praise Mayat and all those. No. I'm going to look at that symbol, that statue or whatever, and then I'm going to think about the lesson that it teaches, because that's what the symbols do. They, are sometimes more powerful than words. Symbolism is very powerful. So you see that, and then you attribute that lesson. And you realize it's an act of nature, and they can be described in cosmic terms or in our human terms, because we are all one of the same existence. And so all this separation with all these different denominations and everybody's fighting and jostling, they don't care about your soul. They don't care about you. All they care about is being right and control over their congregations and control over their congregation's pocketbook, more importantly. All right? And they're selling people this bill of goods here. All right? And it's just wrong. And here's a little something. Proverbs chapter Ecclesiastes chapter 11. Oh, I'm sorry, not chapter 11. Oh man, I'm losing my place here. Okay, you know what? Actually, I can't find it right now, so I'll leave it alone. But I actually am going to do a video on it. It's a really good verse that I ran across, and yeah, I'll hit on that. Actually, that'll be my next video. So anyway. So we have to stop this separation, okay? It's not doing anybody any good, and it's just leaving a lot of people disillusioned and frustrated, because what they've been taught about God has been wrong. Anybody who says what I'm saying right now or differently is considered sacrilegious. I mean, a lot of the religions that started out as fringe groups that were seen as radical to the establishment that existed, and then they became the establishment, and then they sought to do the same things and shut out everybody else and use fear and all these different things to control other people while justifying their own horrible actions. So you see, to believe in God is to believe in yourself, because we are all one. Okay, and if there is a father, there is a mother. Okay, and so wisdom is the mother, the earth is the mother, the universe itself is the Father. Just like the family unit, okay? You know, man represented the sun, the woman was the moon, and look at our peaks and how we peak, okay? You know, we reach our peaks in the morning time as the sun rises. Women's are usually during the night when the moon is out, okay? So while we're out governing and whatnot, and the woman represents the moon governing the night, and she's up with the kids and all that, putting the kids to bed, because now the father is tired and he goes to bed. The sun sets after a long day's work. Okay? It's just so many ways we relate to the universe. We have to understand that concept of who and what God is now. Because obviously the way it's being taught, people are starting to wake up to it and say, you know what, there's so much more to us than this. You know, and it is. And we're starting to see that now. We are waking up. You know, there's many terms for it. You know, I like the ascension thing and the consciousness shift. I like that. You know, that's one of the best words, you know, for this. But we have to be mindful of our thoughts. You know, it's imperative that we be mindful of how we're thinking. You know, what we're thinking, not just what we're saying, but what we're thinking. You know, because that would determine what side of this shift we fall on. All right, and I hope that everybody watches this video in its entirety. Normally try not to go over 15 minutes or 10 minutes or whatnot, but you know, I had to get said. So everybody just start to look within also. You know, because that's where your God is. And I have a video about that. Where is God when you need Him? It's one of my older videos, and it'll explain that also.